Welcome to the Track Your Life podcast. My name is Boyd Varty, and this show is an invitation to journey with me back to the wild on the path of the story hunter. In part 3 of Story Hunter, we go back to the wildest parts of the Kalahari to run once again with the Bushmen people. This show is a journey for a story hunter and an invitation to follow the call of the wild. Episode 4, Hunting and Faith. My flight out of the bush is late, meaning I almost missed my connection in Johannesburg. When I eventually arrive at the boarding gate, puffing, after running to make my connection, I find Alex has coolly managed to cajole the airline staff into waiting for me. We fly north from Johannesburg to the oasis town of Uppington. Out of the window of the plane is a vast flat land. When the town appears on the green banks of the Orange River, a literal oasis of palms and desert. The feeling is so alive. My brothers, an adventure ahead, a backwater town. The important feeling that we do not know what lies ahead. God, I love that feeling. James meets us outside the airport, and soon we're at some lousy Airbnb cooking steaks and drinking beer. Uppington is not a place you would go on purpose, but as a stop on an adventure, it's perfectly eccentric. There's a lot of prepping of gear and food laid out. While we work, Alex reports, "Guys, Glyn told me the Bushman hunters have been running a lot since last year," he says. "They've been training. And he said that some of them have stopped drinking and smoking. Guys are taking it seriously." That's quite amazing. The next day we leave at dawn, driving north through desert landscapes, huge thorn plains, where the sand changes from white to red dunes. We chat in the car as we go deeper into the wilderness. The temperature outside is cool, 34 degrees. And the temperature is a critical factor in persistence hunting. In the desert, you need heat, or the kudu will have an advantage on you and end up running you to death. New research is suggesting that persistence hunting has been a common practice in every native culture, in almost every terrain, including the snow, where the snowshoe tipped the advantage over long distances through thick snow to humans. But certainly, it's only still alive here in southern Africa. Louis Liebenberg's famous South African tracker proposed that this type of hunting goes back as far as Homo erectus. In the town of Chabong, we meet Colin, the ranch manager of Speed of Light Ranch, where we'll be meeting our Bushman friends later. Colin drives us 50 kilometers into the desert to what looks like an old cattle station, prefab rooms with a metal roof, and an old office desk as a dining table. The camp feels like an Australian outback cattle post, and Colin is the closest thing to an African cowboy you could imagine. I feel like I'm in a Bruce Chatwin novel. "Last night, I saw a leopard here," Colin tells us, pointing out towards the edge of the camp. Alex has found an old anthropologist's accounts of persistence hunting in the 80s. And we sit around the office desk, drinking tea. He reads off old accounts of hunts recorded. This one was 35 kilometers in 5 hours. This one was 25 kilometers and took 4 hours. And this is where it gets interesting to me. Persistence hunting on a pure technical level is a confluence of many variables. Heat, tracking skills, the substrate, food source of the animals, how much water they've had. The fastest accounts have the Bushmen moving at about 6 minutes per kilometer in 40-degree heat and incredibly soft, almost beach sand in the desert. And it's perhaps this diversity of variables is why the persistence hunt was held by the Bushmen as a spiritual practice. One needed to commit fully and faithfully to the process. And then inside of that commitment, all of those variables must spin on the great wheel of fate, and God will bless you or not. When you persistence hunt, failure is as high a likelihood as success. To persistence hunt is to surrender profoundly to an extremely complicated process, to measure all the variables and in the end, faithfully commit. Persistence hunting is an act of faith. So many of life's deepest journeys, at some point, after all the analysis, are really acts of faith. And as I sit here, I ponder that soon I will be married, and soon I will have a child. and cut off from any cell phone signal, I'm thinking about Chloe all the time, thinking of the scan she will have tomorrow, worried already, as I will be for the rest of my life, that all will be well with her and our boy. All of this beautiful challenge of children and marriage that lies ahead is a world of variables. I could and have twisted my brain trying to think my way through all parts and possible outcomes. But as I sit here now, I know that great journeys are not of the mind. Great journeys are of the heart. Bruce Springsteen says that in great love and rock and roll, 1 + 1 must equal 3. I think this is how Bruce points to how great things have in them a variable that is beyond the standard equation. Love is certainly like that. Persistence hunts are like that. If you're thinking about it too much, you have not yet been taken by the mystical force. Perseveration is a sign you are not yet in a state of faith. And faith will take you. It's not your decision. That's why it's faith. You know to do it. You cannot not do it. You just start running.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Track Your Life podcast with Boyd. To begin your own story hunting journey, sign up to the online course on Boyd's website, or just find him on Instagram, X, or your favorite podcast player. Please rate and review this podcast so that more people can find and enjoy it.